Friends, in the last episode, we discussed about what is shot put, what are the rules of the game, types and duties of officials in the game. In this episode, we will discuss about the fundamental skills, ground and basic techniques of the game. Shot put. The throwing circle is 2.135 meter in diameter. A stop board of 1.21 m by 0.112 m by 0.10 m is used at the edge of the throwing circle. The landing sector is marked by two radii separated by 34.92 degrees. They extend 25 m from the center of the throwing circle. The landing sector is marked by white lines measuring 5 cm wide, the inside of which is the boundary for fair throws. The shot itself must be made of a metal no softer than brass and must have an extremely smooth surface. For open international competition, the men's shot, the weight is 7.260 kg and must have a diameter between 110 mm and 130 mm. For women, the weight is 4 kg with a diameter between 95 mm and 110 mm. Fundamental skills. The shot put is a technical event, but if you break it down into a few key elements, your young throwers can digest the lessons quicker and easier. Make the event even more understandable by offering easy to remember cues to remind them of proper shot putting motion. The following advice for shot put coaches is based on a presentation given by well-respected coach Jim Alkins at the 2014 Michigan Interscholastic Track Coaches Association's Annual Coaches Clinic. To get your young shot put competitors to remember the optimal angle of release, first tell them to imagine a push-up. When you do a push-up, you have your elbows out to the side, and that's the same way you want to position your throwing arm in the shot put. For a right-handed thrower, hold your right arm up with your elbow out to the side and then push the shot up. Secondly, tell your throwers to arc their backs so you throw the shot with an upward trajectory of roughly 35 to 40 degrees. A thrower achieves the angle by getting the chest and head up and arcing the back. As beginners, if you tell them to arc their backs, that they will pretty much help them establish the angle. Because if you say chest up, head up, they might not understand. So, arc your back is an easier cue. Next is release velocity. The velocity of the shot at release is the key to the throw. That's easy to understand. All too often, however, young shot putters think they should throw the shot as fast as possible from the start. But that's not right. You are not looking for maximum velocity at the start or in the middle of its throw, but at the moment of release. That means shot must accelerate as it moves forward. If it starts fast, what do you have left? Instead, start slowly but continuously accelerate so the shot is traveling at the thrower's best speed at the end. To achieve this necessary acceleration, you need a long arm pull. The cue here is to imagine throwing a punch into a punching bag. If it's thrown forward as quickly as possible, the punch will be fast but not very powerful. But if you draw your hand back, take a long pull and then throw the punch. The punch will be powerful and fast at the end. And that's what shot putters do. They punch the shot. Watch the lead arm. New throwers do all kinds of weird things with the lead arm. The left arm for a right-handed thrower. In the power position, your lead arm should be at a shoulder level and extended forward because you want to slow down the upper body rotation. At the end of the throw, a beginner may have a race to the front, the hips versus the shoulders, but the hips should always win. If your lead arm is long and extended, it slows down your shoulders, so your hips can get ahead and push the shot forward. The left arm should also be higher than the shoulder plane. If the arm is low, it restricts your hip movement. If your arm is up, it creates a stretch across your abdomen and helps pull your hips through. Working in the power position. The beginning of the shot put motion is designed to put the thrower into the power position with the thrower's weight back, the left arm higher than the shoulder, the back arched, both feet flat on the ground, and the shot behind the right hip and knee. To get to that position, shot putters using the glide technique, as almost all young throwers will, should keep the shot moving in the straightest possible line. As a coach, when you are watching from behind, you want to see the shot moving straight ahead. A beginner should start working from the power position with the left shoulder aimed at target rather than rotating the torso and turning his back toward the target. If the thrower is facing sideways, it's easier to execute the throw. It happens kind of naturally. Punch the giant. To return to the punching bag analogy, consider the other things you do when you hit a punching bag. If you are right-handed, you brace your left side and you push off with your right leg. When you throw the shot, that's what you are really doing by using the correct angle of release. However, you are punching upward, so you can tell your throwers to picture themselves punching the giant. Finally, remind young shot putters to put the shot rather than pulling it. In other words, they must push the right side through rather than pulling the shot with their arm. If your throwers have played baseball or softball, tell them it's much like swinging a bat. First you swing your hips through, then you bring the bat or the shot forward. Basic techniques for the shot put. Goal 1. Shot grid and placement. First is holding the shot. The shot is held at the base of the finger, not the palm. The fingers are slightly spread apart with the thumb for support. The hand will be bent back in the cocked position when holding the shot. It looks like you are carrying a pizza. Second is neck placement. Raise the shot above your head. Lower the shot straight down until it is under your jaw. Push the shot into your neck. Lift your elbow parallel to the floor. Don't squeeze your elbow towards your back. Check to see that your thumb is pointing down towards your clavicle. The palm should be pointing towards the throwing direction. Goal 2. Delivery of the shot. First, delivery of the shot, eyes to the ceiling. Punch the shot away from the neck. Keep the elbow high at all times. Lowering the elbow can cause the shot to be thrown like a baseball and could result in an injury. Finish the punch with a flip of the wrist. The left side of the body will be stopped and locked to help from the block. The left arm will be tucked close to the side of the body. Second is drills used to teach the delivery. Wrist flip. Use the drill for proper release of the shot. The thrower will stand facing the sector. The thrower starts with the shot above his head in his throwing hand. The thrower will flip the shot out of his hand. 2-arm pulls. Use this drill for proper release of the shot. The thrower will stand facing the sector. Place the shot in both hands in chest pass position. Check that the hands are behind the shot and the thumbs are down. Push the shot out with both hands. Make sure elbows stay high. Flip the wrist at the end of the throw. This throw can also be done with a medicine ball. The thrower will be standing tall facing the throwing direction. The thrower will place the shot against his neck. The thrower will sky the eyes to the ceiling and push the shot away from his neck, focusing on driving through the shot towards the throwing area. The thrower needs to flip the wrist at the end. Bent knee. Use this drill for the arm delivery in the shot and show the importance of legs. The thrower will be facing the throwing direction with bent knees. The thrower will place the shot against his neck. The thrower will sky the eyes to the ceiling and push the shot away from his neck, focusing on driving through the shot towards the throwing area. While the thrower is pushing the shot out, he or she will push up with the legs, extending the hips out. Goal 3. Power position. First is body position in the power position. The thrower will stand perpendicular to the throwing direction. The feet position will be shoulder width apart or a little wider, with left foot slightly behind the right foot. Toe heel relationship. The right foot will be perpendicular to the throwing direction. The thrower needs to be in an athletic position. The thrower will shift 80% of his or her weight onto the right leg. The thrower will twist his or her upper body completely opposite the throwing direction. This position from up above will look like an X. The chest, knee and toe should be in line with each other. The thrower places the shot into his or her neck. The left arm will be extended and out from the body with a right angle relationship to the right elbow. Second is throwing from the power position. Over-exaggerate the use of the legs in the throw, especially the hips. Sequence of the throw will be legs, hips, back, arm. Push the weight from right leg to the left leg in an upward direction. When driving up with your legs, your right heel needs to be turned out. There will be a stretch reflex reaction between your upper body and lower body. Upper body will start coming around. As your upper body comes around, sweep the left arm around and then bring it tight to your body. Stop the left side of your body to aid in accelerating the shot. Deliver the shot as mentioned. Third is drills used to teach throwing from the power position. Twist. Use this drill for warm-up and to emphasize the importance of the legs. The athlete faces the sector with toes pointed straight. Place shot against the neck, bend the knees, twist the body to the right and down. Extend legs and hips, then throw as explained in the bent knee drill. 1-2 drill. Use this drill to teach the thrower to keep the shot back on the hip. The thrower gets into the power position with the shot against the neck. On the command of 1, he opens his left arm to the throwing direction and turns his heel out. Check to see if the shot has stayed in place at the back of the ring. On the command of 2, the thrower completes the throw. Slingshot effect. Goal 4. Glide position. Body position in the glide. Stand at the back of the ring, facing away from the throwing direction. Place shot against your neck. Put your body in an athletic position facing away from the sector. Extend your left arm out, relaxed. Extend the left leg back towards the toe board. Most of the body weight should be on the right leg. Second is gliding into the power position. Tap your left leg for balance. Draw up the left knee even with the right knee. Remember to keep the left leg straight. Do not allow your left leg to curl behind the right leg. Allow your hips to start to fall. Violently extend your left leg towards the toe board. Do not lift up with your back. Push and then pull your right leg underneath you. It will look like the last part of your body. Leaving the circle is your right heel. Third is drills used to teach the glide. Hip fall. Use this drill to teach the hip fall action in the glide. The thrower will start in an athletic position with his right hand up against his neck and his left hand extended out in front. The thrower will let the hips fall past his heels. Once the hips go past the heels, he will pull his legs back underneath him. Use for left leg drive. Start in glide position. Drive your left leg towards the toe board close to the board. Straighten your right leg where the only thing is touching is your heel. The finished position with your legs will be an upside down Y. Step under. Use the drill for teaching the glide. The athlete will first do an A drill. On command, the athlete will pull the right leg underneath their body, turning the right foot at the same time. Step backs. Use this for teaching the thrower to travel across the ring. The thrower will start in a glide position. He will take one step back with his or her right leg to the middle of the ring. The thrower will then take another step back with the left leg towards the toe board. Make sure shoulder do not come around. The thrower should be ready to pull the shot. Shot. The shot is a smooth sphere free of indentations. Usually they are made of brass, stainless steel or iron. But shot used indoors may be a sphere of synthetic material filled with weights. Competitor. Mass of shot, diameter of shot. Boys under 12, 6 pounds. Boys 13 to 14, 4 kilograms. Girls through junior high, 2.72 kg, 6 pounds. Men, high school 12 pounds. Women, high school through age 49, 4 kilograms, 95 to 110 mm. For indoor meets, the NCAA permits shot as large as 130 mm. Men, college through age 49, 7.26 kg, 16 pounds, 110 to 130 mm. For indoor meets, the NCAA permits shot as large as 145 mm, women age 50 and above 3 kilograms, men ages 50 to 59 6 kilograms, Special Olympics 3 pounds. Throwing ring. The athlete throws from a circular area at the same level as the ground on which the shot will land. Around the circular area is a raised throwing pad. The length of a throw is measured from the edge nearest to the throwing circle of the first indentation made by the shot to the inside edge of the stop board nearest such mark. The 100 mm height of the stop board is measured from the floor of the throwing circle, not from the top of the throwing pad. The 7-foot diameter of the throwing circle dates from 1904, a period when English-speaking nations were active in the revival of Olympic sports. Its conversion to 2.135 meters instead of an even 2.5 or 3 meters illustrates why metric conversion in sports is almost always a soft conversion. Enlarging or shrinking the throwing circle would have made comparison with previous records doubtful. Before about 2004, the sector angle was 40 degrees. Apparently, it was changed to 34.92 degrees to make it possible to lay out the sector lines and check their accuracy with only some cord and a tape measure, no transit or protractor necessary. Unlike the diameter of the circle or the size of angle, the procedure does make use of whole numbers. First is stretch a cord from the center of the throwing circle to establish where you want one side of the sector angle. Second is with the tape measure along the cord starting at the center of the throwing circle. For convenience, the distance measured should be multiple of 5. The units don't matter, meters, yards or feet will all work. Longer distances are likely to lead to more accurate results. Call the point on the cord you measure to X. Third is with the 0 point of the tape measure still at the center of the throwing circle, swing the tape around and temporarily mark a curve about where you expect the other side of the sector angle will be. Fourth is place the 0 end of the tape measure at point X. Find the point on the tape that represents 3/5 of the distance in step 2. If you measure 20 yards in step 2, take 20 times 3/5, that is 12 yards. Swing the tape around point X until the 3/5 points fall on the arc made in step 3. Call this point Y. Stretch a cord from the center of the throwing circle through point Y. This is the other side of the sector angle. Conclusion. Shot put is a throwing event of track and field competitions. Shot put is very old today. It is about propelling a metal ball as far as possible. And the shot player should keep the shot against the neck during the movement. Leg and hip lead the movement. Shot put is pushing action whose force comes from the ground up, through legs, hips to the shoulders and then to arm. Thank you. Have a nice day.